We don't know about you, guys, but we find great joy in reading old smartphone reviews. They don't just bring out the warm, soothing feeling of tech nostalgia. They can also be an amusing read, going back to our Sony Xperia X10 review, for instance, reminds us that a 4-inch display was considered huge only 5 years ago. Times have changed since then. The average smartphone has grown in size, and so has its screen diagonally, which now hovers around the 5-inch mark. At the same time, those not ready to accept a smartphone of such proportions must be finding it increasingly hard to come across a truly powerful handset. That's the kind of folks the Sony Xperia Z5 Compact is made for. While relatively small in size, as suggested by its 4.6-inch screen diagonally, the smartphone packs most of the features and hardware muscle one would get from the brand's flagship, the Sony Xperia Z5. To be more specific, the Compact is equipped with a top-shelf processor, snaps photos with a 23MP camera, resists water ingress, blasts sound through stereo speakers, and promises great battery life. Not bad for a phone of this caliber, is it? Okay, that's enough chatter. Let's take the Xperia Z5 Compact for a spin and see what it has to impress us with. You want a truly compact, pocket-friendly smartphone? Here you go. Size and shape aside, the Sony Xperia Z5 Compact is built within a plastic frame, with glass covering its front and back sides. The back, in particular, is made of what Sony calls frosted glass, and one should think of it as glass treated to a matte finish. There's a benefit to choosing the latter over regular, glossy glass. Fingerprints don't stick to the back's non-reflective surface. But on the downside, some folks will find the finish too slippery. On the right side of the Xperia Z5 Compact reside all of its physical buttons, the power key in the middle, the volume rocker beneath it, and a 2-stage camera shutter. Disappointingly, these have not been designed well. The power button is soft, and accidental presses were common in our experience, but the volume controls are even more annoying. The volume rocker is just tiny and operating its buttons feels like pressing a sponge. On top of that, the rocker can't be reached comfortably due to its awkward placement. At least the camera button works fine. It comes in handy while shooting photos, and long pressing it will launch the camera from any screen. Speaking of buttons, the Sony Xperia Z5 Compact has a fingerprint scanner built into its power key. Naturally, its main purpose is to replace your lock screen, and it does a good job at that. The scanner is fast and reliable, with a very high rate of successful readings. Due to its placement, however, the scanner is less convenient to use when the Z5 Compact is held in the left hand. Sorry, lefties. The Sony Xperia Z5 Compact comes with a 4.6-inch IPS LCD display. By today's standards, that's a screen size below the average, and that on-screen buttons eat up precious space does not make things any better. On one hand, there's nothing holding you back from playing the game of Need for Speed or watching an episode of Voltron on a Z5 Compact. But on the other, these and other activities are more enjoyable on a bigger screen. When chatting, for instance, the on-screen keyboard occupies more space than the actual text conversation. Although the UI is also to blame for this imperfect experience. We're not saying that a 4.6-inch screen is too small or impractical. It just has its obvious limitations when compared to larger offerings. Those demanding a compact phone, however, should do just fine with what the Z5 Compact has to provide. Where the Z5 Compact truly shines, however, is in the brightness category. With a peak output exceeding 700 nits, the phone's screen is one of the brightest around, which explains why outdoor visibility has never been an issue during the weeks we spent testing the phone. Before we move on, We must mention that the Xperia Z5 Compact remains usable even when its screen or your fingers are wet. There's also a glove mode, which can be triggered manually, but if you don't plan on actually using the phone with gloves on, we'd recommend you to leave the feature off. Having it on results in frequent accidental taps when the phone is used with bare fingers.